Any excuse to cram my snake in a pipe, I'm in. And we welcome Dr. Adam Chrisman. Hi, Adam. How are you? Thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So good to see you all.
Well, I've seen you on Today's Show or Good Morning America. I've seen you all over TV. You're like one of the authorities that they love to bring in to talk about anything and everything veterinarial. Is that a word? Veterinarial?
Veterinary?
Yes. Let's make one. That's fine.
Well, and you said you grew up listening to us, so you're familiar with that. We kind of drive off the rails from time to time, so it's going to happen. We appreciate you coming on. So let's start talking about summertime. It's going to get hot. If you have a cat, a dog, or any kind of animal, and they can't talk, they can't tell you that they're overheated. You have to look for signs and things like this. What's your number one thing to preach to any animal lover or owner about summertime?
Yeah, well, I wish they could speak. That would make my job one heck easier, that's for sure. But I always say heat stroke is no joke. It really is. We don't want to leave them in the car. Even simple things. Oh, let me just go to the bank. Let me just do a Wawa or Dunkin' run. And we leave the car running. Sometimes animals hit things. You'll be surprised. I know there's car safety, but certainly outside is a huge thing, especially certain dog breeds such as greyhounds and those flat-faced dog breeds, the French bulldogs, English bulldogs. I mean, you just leave them outside for a few minutes and they can really get hot. Did you know the average temperature for a dog and cat is usually around like 101, 102.5, so it's a little higher than you and I. But then when they get heat stroke, it can go up to 107. And about 50% of dogs that make it to us, the veterinarian, don't make it. So it's a really serious thing. So we want to keep them nice and cool throughout those hot dog days of summer.
Right. No, and don't leave your pets in the car. That is just the worst idea ever. And okay.
Yes.
But what do you look for? I mean, panting. It's obvious if they're overheated. But what other signs do we look out for?
Yeah, so if they have really bright red gums too, when they're doing the panting, and they're seeing it really brick red, they can easily fall down. People think, oh, they're just really tired. Actually, they're collapsing and their organs could be going into organ failure. That's how quickly it happens. So to your point, absolutely, excessive drooling is a huge thing. Pacing, uncomfortable, restlessness, not eating, and even not wanting to drink because they are so overheated and their body is out of control, physiologically speaking, that they just end up wanting to just cool off and their body wants to shut down. So, but the big thing is like collapsing, panting excessively, even when you bring them inside. This happened to one of our neighbors' dogs last week. She was just running, chasing the other dog through the fence just for 2 minutes, and it was a French bulldog. She's doing fine, but she had heat stroke significantly.
Wow.
Oh, God, that's so scary.
Yeah,
all right, we got questions for Dr. Adam. What do you have?
Yes.
What do you have?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have so many. So, as a vet, are there animals that people bring you constantly that you're like, why does anybody own this? Because I had an experience where I had a chameleon and he got sick. I took him to the vet. He died suddenly. And then I found out after the fact, chameleons are not really great house pets. I wish somebody would have told me that ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, the exotic ones like you're talking about. So those are like the reptilian species. Those are a little tough because to your point, by the time they're sick, they're almost gone,
Yeah.
you know, like by the time they come to the veterinarian, it's pretty drastic. So if you don't do your homework and certainly want to put the time and effort into it, think of like the iguanas and the turtles and those kinds of species. They can be a little bit of a challenge to take care of. But you know, what I do find interesting though, my friends, is that it could be a turtle, it could be a hamster, it could be a Great Dane, and we love our animals regardless.
So much.
You know, it's the human-animal bond. It's that unconditional love. I was working the ER last year, and there was a peacock that got hit by a car, and I was like, Kelly Clarkson, what am I going to do with a peacock? Like, I don't know. You know, how do I handle a peacock? But, you know, you go back to the basics of vet school. You're like, okay, yeah, bird femurs and, you know, radius and all those different things. But we got them all fixed up and off they go. But that's the cool thing with Vet Med, everyone, is that we see all the species except the humans, but we inadvertently take care of the people at the same time. So I feel like we're superheroes.
Total. Oh my God, you absolutely are. But is there something that you say, hey, I know everybody's getting this, don't get this animal?
French bulldog. Next question.
Okay. Really? Wow. I knew it.
Really? That's the number one breed in America, is it not? I mean, French bulldog.
It is, Elvis. You know, and all kidding aside, listen, they're adorable. We love them. But the average life expectancy, when they have that, you hear them do that. That
Yeah.
is not normal, right?
Oh.
So their average life expectancy for that is 4.5 years. So
Oh,
if they
oh
don't
my
get
God.
surgery to get that fixed, they can live up to 12 to 13 years. So when they come in, there are actually hospitals around the country that says we will not see French bulldogs because of the fact that they are so expensive to take care of. And unfortunately, pet owners either don't have pet insurance or maybe don't have the means to take care of them. Not only just that, they have back issues, neck issues, allergies. So they're a wonderful dog, but certainly I plead to everyone out there is to definitely get pet insurance and know before you go, because that's a tough dog breed.
Right.
But other dogs or other animals that are out there, they're great. Some of those 8th generation cats that we see, the Bengal cats, I'll never forget this really quick. I had a Bengal kitten, and she's like, Dr. Chrisman, she's really sweet. And I was like, okay. And because I know that they can be a little crazy and feral. So I opened up the cat carrier. I was like, you're so cute. Look at you. Boom, gone. Up the ceiling, into the popcorn ceiling. And I go, well, there's that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Well, what happens if I bring my kangaroo to you?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you treat kangaroos? I mean, what animals do you not treat?
Kangaroos. And well, I mean, I'll leave that to Alex.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I had my bearded dragon, they made me take him to an exotic animal facility because that was the only people who knew what was going on. Then they wanted to charge me all this money. I got him little X-rays, and he was laying there with his little legs back, but he died anyway, and they charged me all this money for all these X-rays.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. Well, listen, I
R.I.P.
mean, like
Tonka.
that. Yeah, so cute though. But vet med is expensive, and I totally get it with the cost of care. I used to take care of reptiles when I first started practicing. Fun fact: do you guys know how you take an X-ray of a snake? How a snake is always moving.
Oh.
How would you take an
Wrap it up.
Tape them down. What do you do?
PVC pipe?
Oh.
Yeah, you stick them in it, and then you take a great X-ray of it, and it's perfect. It's like Picasso.
That's so cool.
Aw.
What a
I
good idea.
love any excuse to cram my snake in a pipe. I'm in.
That should be a song.
I know. Wait, Nate has a turtle question
Okay.
for Dr. Chrisman.
boy.
Go ahead.
So, doctor, I am allergic to dogs, cats, pretty much everything with fur. So as a kid, as a concession to my family, my parents got us a turtle, and it was a red-eared slider. And I think it maybe lived about 3 years. As you were talking about earlier, they're probably not the best of pets. So I remember it started to get sick, and it wouldn't eat. And so we took it to the vet, and I still remember sitting in the car, and my mom took it in, and she said that the doctor had to put it to sleep.
Oh.
So, morbid question. How did you do? Is there like a little gas mask for Kermit? Like, how do you put a turtle to
Kermit the
really?
turtle.
which we didn't find.
Yeah.
We called it Kermit the entire time,
Oh.
but found out at the very end it was a female, so we renamed it Kermit for like 5 minutes. And so this is all serious. This was the one pet I had in my entire life. So how do you
Yeah.
put a turtle to sleep?
Yeah, so two methods to that. Most likely that we will start in like a little chamber type of a thing, so a little excessive amount of anesthetic gas to kind of chill them out. And then there is a vein that we can find for them that we can inject easily into them.
I always
And it's
wanted.
just simply like an overdose of an anesthetic, and it's literally one of the most humane and beautiful things I always say about this is that they cross over with dignity and respect and no pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Very
But they're so slow on
Very
that
important.
rainbow bridge. They take forever.
What, turtles.
No.
It's like forever.
Turtles. Like this,
I know.
there's a snail.
Thank you
Where to
for
put my
answering
snail?
that. I've
Right.
always wondered. Thank you.
Well,
Okay, I have a
That's what I
food
always say.
question.
That was a downer,
Yeah.
by the way.
I know.
Thank you,
Everyone's
Nate.
asking how to keep
I
things
know.
alive, and
I
Nate's like,
know.
how do you kill it?
I
What's-
don't want to kill
What's
it.
up, Danielle?
So is there, like, you hear people saying, well, you shouldn't really get the canned cat food or the canned dog food from the stores. There's stuff that's better for your pets. Is that true that there is stuff that's better?
Okay, so there are three things everyone's passionate about, Danielle, in this world: politics, religion, and pet food.
It's true.
I'm telling you, they go nuts over it. So, yes and no, I will say. I think canned food, the dry food, absolutely, as long as it's balanced and complete, you are good to go. You have the other ones that are like the fresh food that's out there. And then you also have the raw foods also that are there. And there's a lot of science between all three. And I say this to all the pet owners out there. It's like, do what works within your budget and what's healthy for your dog, your cat. And because I never want anybody to be like, oh, Dr. Chrisman, like, I don't want you judging me. I was like, we're not here to judge. We want you here to be a good pet parent. That's what all that matters. But the canned pet food, listen, they've been living many, many years, Danielle, with all this great food out there.
Yeah.
And I think the science is still strong and solid. And but yeah, there's other ones that are out there, and it's hard as a pet owner, I'm sure, for all of you to try to navigate and figure out, like, what the hell do I give my animal? You know, it's so tough. And I still don't know the answer, by the way.
What about like, were someone to get a raccoon asking for a
there
friend?
we go.
Don't do it.
What do you feed those things?
Okay, listen to me. You all listen to me good.
Yes.
Do not get a raccoon. Okay, I mean there are other great ones that are out there, but you know, you have wildlife is what it is. There's laws that are out there, of course, that we have to be careful of, and you know, raccoons certainly carry a lot of diseases. You know, especially rabies is one of them. That's a disease you and I can get. So I would say, you know, a big heck no to to raccoons, because I know some people get it like, oh, they're just on to the side of the road, and I want to take them home and squeeze them and love them, but you know, no.
Damn it.
What about a skunk? I knew
Fine.
somebody who bought.
Oh, yeah.
She rescued a skunk and she had his stinker taken out, and she kept him as a pet for years. And then she told me he needed therapy. I said, if you took my stinker out, I'd need therapy
Yeah.
too. I mean,
Oh my
really.
God.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we all need therapy. It's called what it is, you know.
And we all need a stinker as well.
Elvis, when did you get your stinker removed?
Oh my God. By the smell of things, I haven't done it quite. So there are you do draw the line when it comes to raccoons, and I'm assuming skunks, right?
Yeah. Yes. I personally was like not a huge fan of doing that, because there's other great animals that are safer for them. And you know, to your point, sometimes you have to find a special veterinarian that takes care of those kinds of animals. And I just enjoy the good ones that are out there: the dogs, cats, ferrets, rabbits, you know, guinea pigs, chinchillas, you name it, on those side.
I did hear a ferret was a good substitution for a raccoon because they're very playful.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try a
they
ferret.
are.
Fine.
They
They're
get into a
stinky.
lot of things too. They're very funny, and rabbits are hilarious, by the way, too. You can litter box train a rabbit. Yes, they use a litter box really quick, and they're great. I mean, versus my dachshunds that are still like 4 or 5 years of age. One drop of rain outside, they're like, just so you know, we're gonna poop in the house.
Yeah, that's what they do. My schnauzers do the same exact thing. Hey, and by the way, Dr. Chrisman is all over TikTok. I mean, you have a lot of followers on TikTok. What is the number one TikTok video that people go to
Okay,
over
the
and
number
over and
one,
over
this
again?
has, I think, 20 million views.
Whoa.
One is the reverse sneeze. So do you ever have a dog
Yeah.
that does that?
My dog does that.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I was a kid, I was like trying to figure out how to stop it when I had a beagle growing up. And I thought everybody knew this, but you gently close the muzzle and you put one finger over the nostril and it stops instantly. So you don't have to, it's not an emergency. You don't have to take him to the veterinarian for those kinds of instances. And then everybody was writing like, oh my God, this works. Holy smokes. Thank you so much. I was going to go to the ER because I thought, you know, that was an issue. And there could be other issues why they do that. But generally speaking, the reverse sneeze, it's just an airway disorder that happens quickly. You know, like pollen can go up their nose or whatever it is. So there's that. And
It's
then
scary.
my other video, I have a dog named Clark W. Griswold, and he takes my shoes down the ramp. And so, because dachshunds are prone to slip and disc, so we have a ramp in the backyard for them. My house looks like MTV Cribs for dachshunds. I'm telling you. Toy bins, you name it. And so they go down the ramp, but he takes my shoe down the ramp, and then we have toys that he gets to pick. And so we did TikTok lives, like, what toy is he going to pick now? Is it going to be, you know, the rabbit toy, the squeaky toy? They love their lamb chops. And so now all these kids get involved and it's really fun to engage with the audience that way, because anything that we can do to spread awareness and love and joy for our animals is a home run.
Wow.
I love that. You know, and
Aw.
with all the toys you can get for your dogs and cats, keep in mind, they don't know it's a pork chop.
No.
They don't know that. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he really loves the whatever the best. They don't know it's a pork chop. It's just this thing that they chew on. And they don't know. I'm sorry to break that
Right.
to you. It's not real.
I know. But Elvis, does your dog have like that favorite toy that they don't destroy? Does anybody have a dog or a cat that has that one toy that they're like, oh no, I take this to bed with me?
Yeah, mine
Yeah,
was
he-
a little elf at one
Little
point.
elf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right now he's got a dinosaur he loves, but he doesn't know it's a dinosaur. Let me be very clear. He's not into dinosaurs. It's just this thing that he likes to chew on. Well, look, Dr. Chrisman, thank you so much for coming on with us. You can find, of course, Dr. Adam Chrisman on TikTok. What's the exact address?
It's at dr.adamchrisman52 on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Over 1 million people are following Dr. Chrisman, of course, on TikTok. And so there's a reason why. Maybe you should follow him as well. And thanks for coming on with us and giving us some tips to keep our animals alive for another summer or two. We like that a lot.
My pleasure. Good to see you all. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks,
You too.
Doc.
Bye.
Thanks, Doctor. Thank you, Joe. You guys have a great day today.
You too. Take care.
Take
Bye,
care, guys.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye, guys.